What's up, guys? This is Jay with The Fight of Faith with another episode, another interview with a very special guy to me. This is one of my first coaches I ever had. His name is Eric Umali, and we're going to be joining him today. I'm going to be interviewing, and it's going to be fun. So if you guys are interested in doing like a prayer request, or you can call in, leave a voicemail, whatever you guys need to do, you can reach us at 424-70-FIGHT. That is 424-70-FIGHT. And here is brother Eric right now. What's up, Eric?
Yo, can you
hear me?
Yeah.
Hey, how you doing, man?
What up? Look at you. You look like you're in the back of a limo.
Oh, yeah. That's my personal limo for work.
That's your truck, huh?
Yeah, big semi truck, bro.
Where you at?
I'm in Cali right now, and by Riverside.
Dang.
They got me going all over.
Good for you. So what's up? How's everything been?
Dude, so good. Thank you for taking the time, by the way. It'll be good to catch up with you, bro.
Of course. I don't know if I could follow Mark Munoz and all these other great guests you have, but hope I don't bore your listeners too bad.
No, bro, you're going to be great. Automatically great.
Right.
For me, man, it's just there's a lot of driving with this quarantine stuff going on. Actually, my business picked up for me. I just happen to be one of those essential guys, luckily.
Good for you.
Yeah, and but I see you're still going at it. You still got that home dojo going for the pit.
Yeah, we have the virtual dojo, but we're not generating income. We're not part of the phase 1 businesses that are reopened. So if I had to guess, we're probably phase 3. So that'll probably be like mid to end of June. And then even then, we're probably gonna have to put all kinds of social distancing measures, no jiujitsu, but just striking and workouts, which is fine.
Only force chokes allowed.
Like this, just the force, use the force.
Yeah, man.
But no, so yeah, it's been tough business wise, but I can't complain. Been getting a lot of time to hang out with my new son and work out.
Congratulations, bro.
Thank you. His name is Luca. He's almost 6 months old. So yeah, like it's cool seeing people online and working out and just staying active and social that way. And then hopefully we can open for business sometime in June. So we'll see.
Good. So how's fatherhood changed your life, man? How is that going?
Oh my gosh. Pretty much I don't have any more time. Like I'm very when I first moved there from Vegas, like I was in a long distance relationship, but that ended like within a year. So then I was like able to do my own thing, if I want to go out to the bar, have a drink, go work out, go see a show, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's like, man, you got that feeding schedule. So every few hours, he's got to feed and then eat, and then he cries. And then my wife's like pumping. So then every 4 hours we got to take care of that. So
team no sleep.
I don't sleep that much anyway. Like I'll put him to bed and I'll stay up and I'll work on personal stuff. But yeah, more than ever, it's like, yeah, you really have to plan everything. I mean, I don't know how you do it. You got like 4 kids?
Yeah, man. It's when I went through my own business, I still have my business like as a contractor, but I contracted myself to a company that only did trade shows. So when that fell, I ended up becoming just a company driver just to still get income, So I drive for someone else now, but in hopes when things get better, continue my business. But man, when I was running my own loads and doing flatbed, like I was getting no sleep, like, and that's illegal, but I had to make it happen, man, trying to grow a business. And so I accumulated like a lot of, I think a lot of dark things when you're not sleeping, you're not doing what you love, like martial arts, and you're not home often. Your mind goes to a dark place, It was bad.
Dude, I was going to say like, and your girl's taking care of all those kids and you're on the road and it's like, you can't even work out and stay healthy that way. So yeah, props for you and your family for getting through it. But I mean, 1 kid's hard enough. So for all you dads that have more than 1 kid or a single parent, dude, props to you guys. That's
You're going to have
crazy.
to talk to Tammy. I'm going to pray for her because she said that she wants another one. I said she's crazy.
Holy smokes. Well,
and she comes from a large family, so more the merrier, right? Like, dude. But no, man, no.
Yeah. So all you guys that want kids, imagine your life, all your personal time gone, and you got to take care of this dude or whatever it may be, and
Yeah.
they become number one. And I'm still kind of struggling with that, because like my business, if I want to get something done, I do it immediately. If I want to go do something personally, I do it immediately. Now it's like I got to put the brakes and be like, whoop, kids got poop, or I got to feed them, and this lesson plan can wait. The Zoom class, the scheduling could wait. So really taking a back seat in terms of my business and my personal life, which is fine. I'm just not used to it. I'm 37 years old. I've been independent my whole life. Wouldn't have to worry about another human being being kept alive. But now I do. So
isn't it crazy? Because like I'm so used to, like, if I tell somebody, like if you tell me, oh, Justin, let's go hit pads in the park 6 a.m. Cool, I'm there. Like without even hesitation, I'm there. But I'm like, oh wait, hold on, like kids, wife. Oh, well, hold on, I have to talk to somebody.
Yeah, and I mean, we're lucky we got supportive women that do that. But like if you didn't, if it was one-sided, like you see how like kids and parenthood could splinter families apart super easy. You know, you're not hanging out with each other anymore. You lose touch with your wife or whatever it may be, and then now you're just taking care of kids, and then you grow apart. So we're definitely trying to not make those mistakes.
Yeah, well, for you, man, let's get from. I never really asked about you and how you even got started with martial arts in general, because you said you're originally from California, right?
Yeah, I'm from the Central Coast, which is where the pit's at, and that's how I met John Hackleman. It's kind of funny. I never even knew him. The only reason I knew who he was when I was like a kid, I think I was like doing karate when I was like 12 or whatever. My dad was a nurse at the men's colony, and John Hackleman is a nurse. So they worked together as nurses. And I think they went out to karaoke a few times, and my dad would be known as Elvis, because he would sing a lot of Elvis songs, and John Hackleman called him Alvis. So, yeah. So that's how I indirectly knew about John before I started working for him, because he worked with my dad in the prison. And then when John wanted to open up a commercial school right on the main road in Arroyo Grande, he was still back in the day when he just wanted to teach fighters and he didn't want to teach any women or kids. He looked around for different karate schools and wanted to see who could teach for him. Nice. And then that's when I met him and my instructor. His name was Roy Miller. But him and Roy butted heads, and then I stayed on, and I stayed on with him for about 3 years. I taught full time. I got my black belt under him. Went to Hawaii, did the black belt test with Luke Rittering. And then I went down to LA for film school, and that's when I lost touch with John for about 8 years, and that's when Chuck and Glover were on top of the world. So I was like, dang it, I missed that period. And then I worked in the film industry for like 6 years. I was reading scripts.
Dude, I had no idea that you did that. That's awesome.
Yeah. So my background in terms of running a gym or any of this is. It's not no background at all. When John first asked me to run his gym, the Pit Vegas at the time, like whatever it was 10 years ago, I said, okay, cool. So I thought I was just going to teach. So I moved from LA to Henderson, and we had that big warehouse. That's where I met you. Yeah. It was like 12,000 square feet. We had a big old 30-foot octagon. There was Sin City CrossFit on the other side. And so I was brought in just to lead all the programs, and John would split his time. He'd be in California, like a little bit of the month, and then come and run business with me. And then it turned out that, when it comes down to it, he started that gym because he was dating a chick at Sin City CrossFit. So I think they broke up. Yeah, I think they broke up like soon after. So his motivation to come to Vegas, and also he trusted me. But long story short, he didn't do the day-to-day like I did a lot. So we ran that business in that location for like 5 years. And then me and my business partner at the time, JC, you know him, we bought him out. And then that's when we started the Pit 702. So more of a family oriented, like, I never claimed to be a fighter. I've done a few smokers. I got my butt whooped by John and Chuck in Hawaii, which was awesome and memorable. But even before he moved me out here, I said, John, Chuck, when am I going to Vegas, the fight capital of the world? I'm just this karate guy. I went to film school. I'm like, no, you're good. Like, you could coach and teach. And, if you got your black belts and survived us, then we have full confidence in you. And that was the only motivation I needed. So Even though I'm not a fighter, you know, I still competed and did my best to teach these guys. But our mission now is families, kids, and more of the enthusiast MMA guys, like, you know, like yourself, where we're not trying to get beat up. We still want to do, you know, hard sparring or grappling, whatever. But we got families, we got our lives, and, you know, just learn legit self-defense, stay in shape, and, you know, don't get hurt in a Ohana vibe. You know, you don't want to go to a gym and get punched in the nose and never see that guy again. Like, what's the fun in that? You know.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the short version. You know, I met John when I was a kid, went to film school, reconnected. I ran his gym, and now I'm kind of running my own thing.
Good for you.
And bro. We'll see. Yeah, hopefully we open up soon. But yeah, we'll see.
Well, with all of that, like, I gotta tell you, man, because you probably know this and you probably don't like hearing compliments, but people listening to this need to know that you are one of the baddest dudes I ever met with martial arts, right? And one of the most humblest dudes. Like, you're very great with kids, working with them, because you teach from all ages. Like, I've seen you teach with people that eventually did fights. I've seen you with toddlers and kids, like, and so that's why I remember telling you, when you said that you were going to have a baby, I knew that you're going to be a great dad, you know, because that's carrying over. Because so even though the plan coming to Vegas wasn't didn't pan out the way that you thought, right? Yeah. Like, you had a different plan, but you definitely, like, are a great teacher, man. And everyone from the pit would say that. Like, you have patience, you know, with some people. And I've seen some things. Remember, I won't give any names, but I remember when we had sparring and some dude just flipped out because he accidentally got hit in the nuts. And remember?
Yeah, I know that guy.
And I felt super bad because the same day, like, and I totally didn't mean to do this, but that's probably why he eventually got mad at you. But he was shot in, and we weren't even doing shots like wrestling. He just shot in, and I automatically gave him a knee to the temple. Instinctively, I apologized, like, no, bro, you're all right. And then he gets over there, gets kicked in the nuts, and has an attitude. But I've seen you handle situations like that, like, professionally. And so you're great for it, bro.
I appreciate that. You know, when it comes down to what honestly prepared me the best for running a gym and a business and dealing with people was my time in the film industry. Because when you work in the film industry, you have to deal with so many different personalities. And the fact that I was, like, working on the executive level, I would have to go out to drinks and networking meetings and, you know, schmooze people. So, like, that's where I really learned my socialization and how to be a people person, but not on the slimy fake sense. You know, if you go to, like, a used car salesman, it's like everything's like, you know, you get that feeling it's not genuine.
Yeah.
But I just kind of coupled my networking skills in the industry, and then just dealing with, you know, over the course of 10 years, thousands of people. You know, you see a new person every week, and then, you know, they sign up or they don't. And, you know, everyone's different, and you just treat them with the same respect. And the kids' classes, adult classes too. It's like, and the way I look at it is a challenge. If I have some people that say, like, you know, I won't teach any kids, I won't teach any this or that. It's like, if you're a true martial artist and if you want to run your business, you're able to do everything. Like, that's why all my instructors, for the most part, most of them are able to teach all classes. I don't want there to be any specialists. I don't want one person to be like, okay, I'm only teaching the adult fitness classes, or I'm only teaching the kids. Like, you should be able, as a martial artist, to connect with everyone. Right. So I try to set up my system where it's, like, not about me. And that's why I always downplay. Like, I don't want it to be about me. I want it to be about our martial art and our gym, and people are coming to us because of the systems and the community that we set up. I don't want to be, you know, the face on the brand of the gym. So that's by design. And I think, you know, exactly. And I definitely didn't set out to be a martial arts instructor. I honestly thought I would go back to LA within 3 years, but, you know, you roll with the punches, and life throws things at you. And what are you going to do? Like, you know, get upset and then, you know, stomp your feet? No, you just pivot, and now we do something else. So,
now I didn't know you did that kind of work, which sounds super cool. Like, do you ever see yourself going back to working in that industry and film somehow?
No, not the traditional sense, because back in the day, before YouTube and before, like, people were doing their own thing, DIY programs, and, like, the way to get a movie made was the traditional film route, where you'd read a script and then you would have to rely on the studios. I was lucky that I was at a small independent studio, which meant they had their own money. Remember that movie Crash with Don Cheadle and Matt Dillon?
Are you kidding me? Amazing movie. One of my favorite movies.
Yeah, that's the movie company that I worked at. So,
bro.
Yeah. So that's Bob Yard production. So it was essentially like a dude with money came in out of the studio system. And he's like, you know what? No, I want to make my own movies. And then, we beat Brokeback Mountain that year. So the fact that I was at a young company like that, like I was an executive by 25. And that doesn't happen. You're usually answering your boss's phone calls until you're like mid-30s. So the fact that I was able to move up to like, executive level that fast and have a lot of freedom, that was just plain dumb luck. I was an intern at Universal Studios answering phone calls for the president. And then, just based off that, I got an assistant job at the Crash company and there you go. But
so this is pretty cool because I think that's the route more of nowadays, right? With independent, like everybody makes their own films. Especially if you have the knowledge and know how to crowdfund or what have you. But this is very interesting. I want to pick your brain like later on after this. This has nothing to do with the podcast, but
no, you could do it.
Yeah, because I come across people that write scripts and and I've discussed these kind of things with and like are wanting to make films.
So I didn't quite answer your question. Sorry. You're asking about how to get movies made. So back in the day, like 10 years ago, because the technology wasn't that good, you had to rely on studios. But now that it is good, dude, if you can tell a story, dude, shoot that thing on your iPhone or your SLR camera, whatever the high-tech cameras are nowadays, I don't even know. Edit it and put it on YouTube because you can't deny a good story, right? Yep. If you tell a good story, whatever it may be, like people will find you, and now you have the means of social media to get the word out there. Nice. So that's what I would tell people. Like, go to film school if you want, but don't think that's the end all be all. The only good that came out of film school for me was making networking connections to intern at Universal. But now it's like, dude, if I had to do it all over, I'd be like, nope, just learn how to tell a good story, read books, and then invest in your own film equipment and shoot your own stuff.
Right.
But that's what you can do nowadays. So would I want to do film again? Probably not in the traditional sense, but can I still write? Can I still make, little videos and creative stuff that, one day if I have time to make another short film, I'm going to do that and I'll put on YouTube.
That's the way to go about it.
Yeah. So tell a good story, focus on your craft and don't try and be hacky and copy what's out there. Like, what story do you want to tell? Why is it different? And, what's your message? So don't think that you got to rely on big studios or like the perfect, camera. Like equipment's nice and everything, but it's always story over technology and the way you shoot a movie. Yeah.
Yeah. Doo-doo is in 4K is still doo-doo.
Yeah, exactly. High quality doo-doo. So.
I think there's a film, I don't know which one, but I think there's a movie that was purposely shot on an iPhone. Like there was a small film. I'll have to look it up, but I heard about that just to prove a point that you can just use the iPhone. I think that happened. But I wanted to ask you, as back to like martial arts standpoint, I was thinking when I first met you, right? When I first went to the Pit Vegas, like I noticed that your background, like you said, is karate, right? And so we had guys coming in like Ryan Vivian. Yeah, Vivian. Yeah. So he was bad on the ground, like Cobra Kai guy, right?
Yeah.
So you and him worked a lot with jiu-jitsu because you didn't practice jiu-jitsu before then, right?
No. So that's the thing too. Yeah. Evolving,
Exactly. So I've seen you as a martial artist evolve ever since. Like even jiu-jitsu itself has evolved with EBI, with 10th Planet. And now and you're at 10th Planet now, right?
Yeah, that's my guy. And, I'm kind of bummed, on a side note, because I told Coach Casey Halstead, who, runs all the 10 planets here in town. I told him beginning of the year, I want to make it to at least 100 classes, which is like 3 classes a week, because I'm a brown belt. And when I miss a class, like I feel like I'm letting down my teammates and it's tough, everyone's got stuff, I got my own gym, got the kids. So it was tough, but I put it in stone. I said, Coach, I'll make it 100 times in the year. And it's like now with this quarantine, it's like, dude, if we ever get back to real life, I'm going to have to go like 5 times a day. But so, like, since John was in California, like I never really had a coach here, like striking, like he was over there, jiu-jitsu, we would bring in, I learned offhand from Ryan Vivian, who was like a blue belt at Cobra Kai. And then we brought in like a couple coaches. I don't know if you remember those Brazilian guys from like Extreme Couture, like once a week, but no one ever like a steady coach. And I knew that jiu-jitsu was, you know, what we were lacking. And I needed to evolve, you know, for myself as a martial artist so I could be a better instructor to my students. Like, how am I going to teach someone how to defend themselves if they get mounted, you know? Right. So I took it upon myself to kind of, you know, seek out 10th Planet. Like, I heard that they were coming to Vegas, and then I just reached out to the 10th Planet Las Vegas Instagram account, and then I didn't even know who it was. I thought it was going to be Scotty Epstein. And then I said, hey, you know, this is Eric at the Pit. You know, if you guys ever want to use my gym, come by. And then it was Coach Casey, and he said, that's what's up. And then he ended up using the Pit and the Octagon for a few months before his gym was open. He was coaching Kira Batar at the time. And, you know, I've been with him ever since. And hopefully one day, you know, all this calms down and I can keep training consistently and one day get my black belt. That's my number one personal goal right now as a martial artist, to get my 10th Planet black belt. But yeah, you have to evolve. Like, as much as I love John, like, I don't think they do very much jiu-jitsu. Like, I don't know. Like, I remember when he would give us the curriculums, there was never any jiu-jitsu. And very, besides basic stuff like, you know, buck and roll mount escape or a closed guard, whatever. But I knew we needed to do more, because me myself, like, I got bored and I needed to learn more and teach more. So that's been my mission, you know, as a martial artist for my students, to be better. So.
Yeah, because not only you evolved, but even the game of jiu-jitsu itself. I mean, the game itself evolved in my eyes just from being an observer. Because when I never, as you probably already know, I wasn't much of a fan, but I'm willing to drill, and like I was always like willing to learn, but you know, for exercise sake, I was always just like, I'd rather just beat the crap out of a bag, you know? But just when you start getting heel hooked more and more often, and like, what is this happening to me? What is going on? And like, that alone just like skyrocketed with the whole game. Now it's like, it's so much more dangerous now. Like, aren't you like, what do you observe? Like, are you still a karate guy, or are you more like you prefer to roll? Like,
I prefer to roll more now.
Really?
I mean,
wow.
Yeah, just because it's just so much more intriguing to me. Like, and when I use the word karate, you know, I don't mean it in the, you know, sense where they got wide stances and, you know, Kyoku Shinkai type. It was more almost like, it was called Kempo, like, and you were more upright. And I did like the sport karate with the spins and the jumps. It wasn't like hardcore traditional Okinawan Japanese karate. Sure. So, but yeah, I definitely prefer to roll now, especially my motivation is to try and get my black belt. It's like a game of chess to me, you know? It's like, you know, I'll purposely like see how can I get to the back if he's mounted here. And, you know, you really got to think, and, you know, obviously the more you roll, the better you get. It becomes more of a game to you. Of course, it sucked at first when I didn't know what I was doing. But if anything, I was like, you know what? I suck. I need to get better. And now I do enjoy it more. It's more visceral. Like, if you go spar with someone, like if I spar with you, it's like me and you, you know, we're good. We're homies. And it's like, all right, only 20% we get it. But you can't do that. Like, someone's 20%, especially if you don't know them, could be like, you're 50%. And I've seen it a bunch, you know, just like you mentioned that time, like someone gets hit and then it escalates. And next thing you know, there's like, people are upset, someone gets hurt, you know. Right. I could probably think off the top of my head 6 to 10 students where we had a hard sparring and then I never heard from them again, you know, because they probably got hit too hard and didn't tell anyone, and, you know, it's a blow to their ego, and as opposed to, you know, kind of make a big deal about it, they'll just quit, and which sucks, but, you know, that's the way striking is. You have to be really careful with it. So when my guys spar now, like, you know, we'll go super light to the head, no headgear, but that's
just to move around.
Exactly. And, you know, if someone does want to be competitive again, like, you know, I had Wyatt fight in King of the Cage, amateur MMA, like, you know, we'll give them a training camp, but I pretty much make it impossible for fighters to approach me. Number one, I tell them we're not a fight gym. And then if they're able to do the fitness classes first and prove themselves, then they do the MMA Hawaiian Kempo classes, and then I'll let them start sparring hard. And if they still prove that, then, you know, we'll see what kind of promotion's out there. I'll always make them compete in jiu-jitsu first, and then I'll make them do a kickboxing tournament like what you did, and then we'll do MMA. So, you know, That's why I don't have any fighters.
Do you remember when we had that smoker at the Pit Vegas and I got my eye gouged?
Oh
Like,
yeah, and then it's like puffy and you're blinded.
horrible. I ended up getting like sty eye or pink eye from that dude's fingernail.
Yeah, that was like
Horrible.
an MMA tournament, right? Or
Yeah,
what
yeah.
was it?
So I told it on another podcast. I was like, dude, like, it's John Hackleman. Like, if I impress him,
Yeah.
like, and then for him, he's like, "Are you all right, Justin? Are you seeing double?" I'm like, "Yeah, just give me time." Because, like, for people who don't know, it was like the first punch this guy threw,
Yeah.
all thumb right in my eye, and then John was like, "Oh, you seeing double?" And I'm like, "Yeah, but just give me time." He's like, "Okay, if you're seeing double, get out, just all good." Like, no, that was my chance.
Nah, yeah.
And then he smoked the guy after me right after. So
Yeah.
that dude was on top of the world that day.
I forgot who it was. Was he from Texas or Malibu? Do you remember who
It had
that
to
was?
be like a guy from San Jose or something. Like, we had a gym from San Jose came.
Yeah, Academy of Self-Defense. I wonder who that guy was. But yeah, I don't know how we got away with.
I'm gonna find him.
Yeah, we're gonna find you. I'll go ask around.
Message him.
But yeah, you're not allowed to do those anymore. Like, you have to go through the athletic commission. So like all these
Wow.
all these striking tournaments that we did back in the day, they weren't legal. And
Wow.
Don't turn me in.
I feel like such a thug now.
I know you are. You got poked in the eye in an underground pit fight.
Underground.
Yeah.
Like a boss.
That's it.
Okay. Yeah. And for you, I don't know if you remember, but some moments, just a little bit more compliments your way, just for time's sake. I remember 2 times that are like ingrained in my mind as a person, not just as a martial artist, whatever. Like one time, I have zero wrestling background. Whenever it had anything to do with the ground, I was like kind of hopeless and didn't know what to do. So when me and you were like just light sparring MMA in the cage at the Pit Vegas, my back was against the cage and I didn't really know what to do. Didn't know what an underhook was, like just whatever. So you picked me up. My feet are in the air. Right before you slam me. And I'm like I was like 260, 270 at the time. I'm like 235 now. Like, I'm trying to be better.
Yeah.
Right before you slam me, you gently put me back down. And that was the most humbling things that ever happened to me. Because I was like, I could slam you and hurt you, but I'm a nice guy. You know?
Oh yeah. That's because I'm your kumu, I'm your coach. If you go to a gym and your instructor or higher student or anyone in class, they just, put it on you just to put it on you, and they're better than you, they're more experienced than you, then you're at the wrong place. Like, people should be helping each other. Like, there's a time if you're slamming someone, maybe it's someone that you're really competitive with and you guys are like equal, then go for it, But, as my student, it's like, what would I do? What would I get out of slamming someone, whether it be someone bigger than me or tapping someone that's littler than me? Like, that's just for ego. And if you're training and if you have an ego, then you're not going to last very long. You're going to get burnt out. You're going to hurt someone. You're going to get hurt. So that's the first thing you need to put in check when you start at any martial arts school. Like, put your ego away and be aware of people that do have egos. Those are the ones that are trying to hurt you. Those are the ones that don't smile and help you or give you tips. Like, you need to be careful when you go to martial arts schools, because you don't know who trains there, and until you get in the culture and you trust people and you're able to defend yourself and know what's going on, you can get hurt. Like me recently, like maybe a year and a half ago, I got my bicep ripped out. Like, I was going with this big dude at downtown and we're rolling, and I've gone with him before, and he was like a 1A wrestler, and he's a big dude and he's strong and he's like a really, really good, like, I want to say it was like a high blue, almost purple belt. But anyway, he got my arm, and before I even get a chance to tap, like, I had my grip like this, he went belly down armbar me, and I just heard everything go, and I was like, shit. So like, he tore my pec and my bicep, and now it's like all jacked up. But I mean, I'm good now. But point being is, like, you're responsible for your own body. And even me, who I've been training for years, and I think I know what I'm doing, anything can happen. So it's like, you need to tap immediately and protect yourself. So yeah, but
that's
yeah,
crazy.
I won't slam you, Justin.
And one more thing that like really helped me through time, because you've seen me in when I was younger, kind of like I I was kind of in a lost place, and heck, I'm still lost in some ways, but like in a place where I didn't know who I was. Like I was like trying to be with girls that I shouldn't be with. Like I was in a weird spot before I met Tammy, and but there was a time where I was in a long distance relationship, right? And you would ask about it sometimes, and you knew not a lot about it, but you knew of it. And so one night it was another late night sparring. It wasn't the same night, but it was an evening sparring session, and I got the wind kicked out of me. I think I came in forward to do a shot, and it was a quick teep right to the sternum, right? And I was like, right. And so I couldn't breathe. I was already exhausted, and but I didn't want to quit. I was so emotional, man. I was when you look back in like past times, you look back and you think about all your emotions that you had going, like when you were younger. It's like, man, it seems like a different person, right?
Yeah.
And that night, I was like, dude, I just went through the worst breakup of my life, and here I am, like helpless, and I couldn't breathe. Huh?
No, I'm just laughing at you. In a good way.
I'll cue the music in the edit.
I apologize.
No, that was great. And but you told me something, dude, because I got back up. Like, no, dude, I ain't going out like that. I ain't no punk. And I kept going. And you're like, because you said you can step out if you want to. It's all good. I'm like, no, I want to keep working. Yeah. And you told me after class, you're like, you know what, bro? What you did, that's all. That's what it's all about. You kept going, you know. Yeah. And you told me that. And dude, like a little girl, like I said, because of the emotions, I went in the car and cried after that. Yeah. and out of joy, because like I had a moment like of like a breakthrough of like what I physically went through in the cage that night, where I could have just gave up, but I just kept pushing, because like I have almost felt like I had to mentally break through that moment, and it affected me spiritually or mentally, whatever, you know. And so that moment, man, ever since, I haven't been the same. Like my work schedule is like up and down, like, as you know, throughout the years. But it wasn't until I'm like, you know what? I got to focus on my family. I can't commit to any gym no matter how much I want to be there. It's just my life. And I've just realized that is like, even when I started, like I would visit Couture with Drew every now and then, I still never like, I'm not a monthly member there. I just pop in when I can and just pay the day fee, you know, when I can. And ever since then, man, like I just been finding the balance, and I'm finally finding my balance, you know? So like, I think that's what it's all about. So
I think people put too much pressure on themselves, like especially at my school. Yeah, people, like, it's hard enough training at a gym. So it's like, you're already a winner. Like maybe I'm too much rah-rah and like maybe whatever. But the way I look at it, it's like, you know, when we do our belt testings or competitions, like, dude, if you get hit, like, I don't care if you lose, like, as long as you're still trying your best and fighting hard, under control, and not too emotional, that's what it's about. Like I'm looking for those martial artists, those that can go through the fire and adversity. Like, will any of my students ever be world champions? No. Is that what I'm shooting for? No. Am I shooting to make all my students, you know, resilient and be able to overcome whatever? Yes. And that's going to come through, like, you know, tough workouts, tough sparring sessions, tough testings. And then even if you quit, like whatever, a year or two from when you started, if you're able to like dig down deep and use what we've given you to get through a tough time, whether it be a breakup or losing your job, then, you know I've done my job. And that's the thing we're trying to make. We're making martial artists, not, you know, champions. That'd be great if we did, but I'm not a championship coach. I just want tough students that are able to defend themselves and get through life's adversities. Like if I would have quit, like, you know, when things started going bad business-wise, year 1.5, we wouldn't be here, you know. Then I wouldn't have started my new gym, wouldn't have, you know, having a baby. I would have probably moved back home. So it's like, if you're able to just get through whatever, you know, and roll with the punches and stay positive and put your ego aside, then, you know, you'll live a happy life, and you'll be healthy, and you'll figure it out. Like those that can't, like, are too wrapped up in competing in their ego and hold on to negative thoughts and aren't able to let things go. Like, those are just dark people, and you should distance yourself from them because they're going to bring you down. So,
wow.
When you're in there and you're trying your hardest, Justin, and you get hit and you drop, like, I don't care, if you lose the fight or whatever, like, as long as you just get up and do your best and don't quit, that's all that matters. Any of my students,
Nice.
So yeah, that's the same thing.
Awesome.
Yeah, appreciate you too. So
yeah, man. Great talk.
Yeah.
I appreciate you, man, for taking the time and everything.
Of course. I wish I was more of a like traditional Christian and I can cater to your fight of faith, Christian fans, but I'm that's a longer conversation, former Catholic, but hopefully I exhibit some Christian qualities so your guys will like me.
You know what? Like what I like about you is that is just sometimes when people are just themselves, right? Yeah. And not trying to push an agenda of people, they end up being more Christ-like than Christians. I think people like you can be viewed as more Christ-like than a religious person saying you're going to hell. God doesn't like you. That's not what we're about. So you what you're talking about, and ego and humility and being a good coach and martial artist and going through life, that's just as much as gospel, bro. And then more than you think.
Well, there you go. Amen.
Yeah. So, I mean, like we can talk about the Catholic thing if you want to talk about what happened there, but, I
mean, nothing crazy. It's just, you grow up, and I was an altar boy and I did all that. I was like a really good staunch Catholic. Like, even when I moved out here when I was 28, like I went to church every week. I went to confession every month, but then you just like open your eyes and you're like, wait, hold on. What kind of, pedophile charges? Wait, hold on. I'm going to confession and I'm in a monogamous relationship and I'm damned to hell. It's like all these like things that don't seem, Christ-like. And like, I didn't want to be half-assed. I didn't want to be like, okay, I'm cool with that. But like, okay, I want to do this. It's like, if I'm not all in Catholic, then I'm just going to be out, So I know that I'm a good person and I treat people well and with respect. So that's all I need. I don't need like a political organization to tell me what to do. So, and I got nothing against any Catholic or any Christian, any type. If you're in a church, whatever works for you, but just me personally, like it's been working out this way. So I'm not going to change anything,
Yeah. I think it's a good conversation to have because like there's a lot of misrepresentation, I feel, when it comes to religious organizations or when it comes to religion itself, actually. Like it's just people can be so corrupt, man. Like if I give you the most powerful message in the world, it can change lives. A lot of people's minds can automatically think, how can I manipulate people using this? Or how can I make money with this? So it's just bad people sometimes, man, whether they're Christian or not, or Catholic, whatever. It's just, I'm actually trying to have an atheist on the show so we can talk. Like cool. About anything, because we should be able to have those kind of conversations, like, it doesn't make you a horrible person or it doesn't, like, so it's just, but what I really feel what you were saying is motivational and inspirational, and it's going to affect a lot of people listening. And I know that it's going to help people, man.
All right, man. Yeah, this was fun. And, whenever you're not on the road, Justin, come on by. You know where we're at. Well, after the quarantine's done too. So
Yeah. Yeah. So. And if I don't know how, you have a baby, you shouldn't be out in the elements. But I was going to say, me and my friends, like Drew, we try to hit the mitts park. So if you're down, but probably for the sake of the baby.
Yeah. I have to put I have to use pool noodles on it for the mitts and hold it for you guys.
Yeah,
so,
or throw rocks at us for dodging or something.
Run. Practice your agility.
Yeah.
Dang. So if I had to guess, this will be over for the gyms like end of June, I bet. So once we get more data and they open up things to phase 3 or whatever, we'll get back to normal life. So right now there's nothing we can do to change it. So I'm just taking advantage of each day and going from there.
Did he announce Saturday, like they're gonna start doing restaurants 50% capacity?
Or Saturday, yes, 50%. capacity. You got to wear face masks and all that and all the measures. But yeah, I think it's like restaurants, barbershops, salons, pretty much.
Thank God.
Yeah. Go out there.
Cut.
So, yeah, I appreciate you having me on, dude. And then we could do another one. We'll talk about Hollywood or whatever you want to know.
Yeah. I'll call you and text you about that one, because there's people that I am like in my circle that are writing scripts as we speak, like trying to get independent stuff going. But yeah, thank you so much for the time, man. Everybody follow the Pit 702. This is Umali, one of the best kumus around. Thank you for everything, bro. Thank you for taking the time.
Thanks, Justin. See you guys.
See you guys later. Bye.